Why, hi there. I'm Ron Juckin, and well, it must be Wednesday at noon, so it's time for This Week on the E for this April 24th, 2019. I am joined, as always, by the president, chairman, and chief towel crier of the Toronto Maple Leafs fan club of Saugus, Massachusetts. I just realized you just turned 52. Do you know what else happened in 1967?
Yeah, that's the last time the Leafs
The
won the
last
cup.
time the Leafs won the cup.
Yep.
And it's the one thing that, we have that us Canadians fans have with real Bruin fans is that it wasn't the Loops year. Oh.
Yeah. I like the original six. I'm an original six guy. So yeah, so I have, all the Bruins and the Maple Leafs and the Blackhawks and Red Wings. And Rangers, not so much Canadians original six, but I do like the original six teams. And so I think I have a hat from all the except Montreal. I get 5 out of the 6 original team hats. So I'm an original six guy, grew up in that era. So
there's nothing wrong with the team that's won 24 cups. Okay.
I know I pulled out my VCR and I was watching some of their Stanley Cups. You hate it when I say that. You do.
Bite me and read the sponsors.
All right. Let me get my little cheat sheet here.
Your VCR. So. I don't know. I pulled out, my little 8mm thing to watch Bobby Orr stuff the other day.
Yeah.
The film broke. It kind of was like his knee. Boom, boom.
Oh boy. Anyway, so yeah, here we are on April 24th of 2019. I want to thank our sponsors who purchased these great jerseys. One of them you see behind us, that is Bates Insurance of Medford with the old LA Kings purple jerseys behind us there.
Those are pretty.
Also, yeah, those are nice. Paramount Wealth Strategies, Everett Bank. Shout out to Mike Caggiano. Hope he's getting better. He had some health issues going on. He hasn't played in a few weeks. So I'm hoping everything's fine with Mike and he comes back with us on Tuesday and Saturday because your teams aren't the same without you. They haven't lost yet without you, but they're not the same without you, Mike. They're really not. Alpha Omega Hobby in Quincy, the local 103 IBEW, East Boston Savings Bank, One Call Ventilation, Aces Games and more in Revere. Ernie Paredes and his he's been doing a lot of work at the rink with people's equipment. He's fixing equipment, modifying equipment. He's hopefully going to make some pants pretty soon, putting nameplates on the back of jerseys because some of the guys bought jerseys and he's putting nameplates on them for us. So things like that. So go talk to Ernie about getting all that stuff done. And also to our anonymous donor of the EMRHL seniors group who will have the red jerseys coming up hopefully this summer. So thanks to all of our sponsors.
Congratulations. Now, that was a nice win for the Bruins last night, and they now face Columbus in the second round. So
that's weird. Columbus, huh? It's a weird playoffs, whereas Calgary and Tampa Bay are both out and they were top seeds. San Jose was pushed to the brink. I'm not sure where Winnipeg was. I know Winnipeg is out.
You got Game 7 tonight with the defending Cup champions in Washington, too. And that was after Ovechkin got tossed out in Game 6.
Oh, yeah, Washington, Carolina. Yeah, some good playoff series. The first round's always fun.
Yeah, it is. For those
even though you kind of get
teams that are in it, unlike some of us.
You're supposed to get rid of all the crappy teams in round 1, but that's not happened. The crappy teams are sticking around.
8mm. That's right. 8mm highlights for the Bruins.
That's right. Say, speaking of playoffs and crappy teams and all that stuff there. You might have seen on our Facebook group that I posted some weird box scores. Okay, well, the reason I was asking for everybody's favorite number is that strategy hockey game that I play and Ron plays too, the Action PC hockey game. You can customize that and really mod that and make it your own. So I ended up putting in everybody in the league into this game. Okay. And I even added some classic members and some guys who recently stopped playing. And I have 10 full squads in this game. And I tried to balance the talent out. Okay. Like we do. So I have everybody in the game with their preferred number. If you didn't give me a number, then I just assigned you one. And everybody's in this game now. And I've run some simulations to make sure that things don't get out of whack, in the whole bit. And I've made some tweaks. But pretty soon, I'll be broadcasting those games with our EMRHL players in there. It's similar to a wrestling game, you know what I mean, where they play each other. But this game here, so you see me do some Bruins games. Maybe you see me do the 72 Summit Series games with the Russia and Canada. Well, now I can do EMRHL games. I get 10 EMRHL teams with classic members in there as well. And they're going to now play it out, and I'll play each team a couple of times, simulate the rest of the season, have our playoffs, and see who the champions are. But that's what that box score was the other day, and that's why I was asking for everybody's number.
That's awesome. And so when you did the draft, because I know you always do them at the pizzeria, was it Celeste for you or DiGiorno?
Oh no, this one I did at home with just a tuna fish sandwich. But yeah, I got everybody in there. I had to make a couple of tweaks because if you saw the box score, it was like 75 minutes of penalties. And as funny as that was, it wouldn't make for a very good game with all those stoppages. So what I discovered in this game is that if you check the era, you can play in different eras. When you click I was playing in 87, and it showed you how many goals that averaged and how many penalty minutes. And it's averaging 26 penalty minutes per team in 87. So that was too much. So I picked a different year. I think I went to 82 maybe. And so we're playing in the 82 era where there's only 10 penalty minutes a team. So that's 5.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was really weird when I looked at all that. I was like, wow, there was so much. Because I think they started cracking down at that point.
Well, the scoring got out of hand. 82 was the year that Gretzky topped 200 points for the first time. And so that's when the rise of the enforcer.
Yeah, it might have been. So I toned down the penalties a little bit to see if that would help. So, but yeah, so we'll be streaming some games, and I've done some practice runs, and they are pretty hysterical with everybody's name in the game, and seeing the goals and assists and goalies getting yanked, and it's too funny, and it should be a really good time.
All right, so there's the next to last week of the regular season for Saturday games, and a reminder: if you still owe your money, get it to Dave.
That's right.
All right, 7 a.m. Arsenal 12, face-off 9. Arsenal slides into fourth place as they get by face-off, and well, the algorithm must not have had his coffee when he wrote that because he said it's a low-scoring game. 21 goals is a lot of goals. Woody and Tony led the way on offense, and Dooley and Montoro short up the back line. Cause had 2 sheety goals for face-off, real sheety goals.
They were sheety. He had one.
Like that.
Oh, he had one. He come on me. I was playing in that game, and I forced him against the boards, and he threw it almost from the goal line, right along the goal line, and the goalie gave him that much room, and he put it in. That's a sheety goal.
Hey, you want sheety goals? I was watching that Bandy video you were posting around.
Did you see that? That was awesome.
That was awesome, wasn't it? 100. I want to be the Zamboni driver on a 100-yard ice rink.
Yeah, so this game, I posted the link on our Facebook group and even my page. It's ice hockey played on a 50-yard by 100-yard sheet. So it's basically a soccer field or a football field.
Yeah.
And I think it's got 11 guys per side. They play with a ball like we do. The goalie doesn't have a stick, and it's just guys skating on this huge, ridiculous ice surface. There's no checking. So it's like a soccer, and it's the net's the size of a lacrosse net. So it's all these sports combined into one. I don't know where the heck you'd play this game because you would need such a huge field.
The highlight that what he was using was in Russia because of all the Cyrillic language on the ice.
Yeah, it's definitely a European sport, but yeah, that bandy game is fun. Check out that video. That's really fun.
At 8 a.m., Hayes and Parkey went save for save as this one went down to the wire with leaving Las Vegas hanging on for a 5-4 win. Coos had a career day with a goal and 2 assists. Vegas moves into 9th place, 2 points ahead of Kick-Ass now with 1 game left.
Yeah, the bottom team's playing it out, 5-4, close game. Leaving Las Vegas pulls it out. Don't really know much more about this game. It was 5-4. At least the goalies played well. Last week, Hayes struggled. This week, he did not struggle. So that's kind of good. So maybe he's getting in playoff shape a week early.
There you go. At 9 a.m., Snake Eyes 8, Gone in 65. The bottom dwellers meet again, and Snake Eyes and their 5 subs skated away with a tainted win. Only 1 goal came from an original skater, and he's even saying he didn't tip it in. Gone in 60 led 5-3 after 2, but was held scoreless in the 3rd.
Yeah, this was just a game full of subs. Snake Eyes didn't have anybody show up. I think actually JT scored their first goal. So he's an original member. But late in the game, somebody took a shot that we thought Tyler Reed tipped in, and Tyler's like, "Oh, I didn't touch it." It's like, "Well, you're getting the goal, Tyler, because I'm sick of all the sub goals." So Tyler got a goal out of that. Yeah, this was all, from what I remember, it was 5-3 gone in 60 seconds. They were cruising. They were just cruising. They were laughing and joking. And then all of a sudden, third period came and they don't score any. And Snake Eyes scores 5. Oof.
Ouch. You know, if you took all of Wayne Gretzky's career goals away, he'd still be the all-time leading scorer in the National Hockey League.
Who cares about Gretzky? Move on.
10 a.m. Fast Times 8, National Treasure 4. With both captains missing, that's always good. It was an upgrade for both teams. Nick Bertocci put aside 5 weeks of mediocre play and cashed in with a multi-point game and the algorithm's coffee of choice, I'm sure, for those kind words. Allen's new skates still look funny, but he had 2 goals.
Yeah, this is unfair. When you have Courtney Brown as your captain, he doesn't show up. That is addition by subtraction. So that's what really put them over the edge here. And Nick Bertocci, he's been really struggling. He struggled last night in the playoffs, but I think he struggles more under the tutelage of Courtney Brown. So without that big shadow being cast over the bench, and he was free to kind of be Nick, he had a pretty decent game. And yeah, Conlon wore the right jersey, I think, this week, which is nice to see. He had put on the right number, so we got to get his all his stats in. But yeah, those white skates are, I told him he's playing so well, those white skates, maybe he needs white gloves.
Charlie Finley smiling from above on that one. At 11 a.m., Raising Arizona 10, Rumblefish 7. The top 2 teams met here, each beefing up with top-level subs from mediocre players. When the dust settled and Kruger's voice stopped ringing in our ears, Arizona had the 10-7 win. Sub Brian Estrella may have had an impact with a 7-goal game.
Yeah, both guys were missing players, so they both stacked it up. The top 2 teams were very competitive in this one, and one team performed, one team didn't. I said one team subs performed, and one team subs did not. And yeah, Kruger, I mean, he was up by 3 goals most of the way, and he was just, that's all you heard was the anger coming out of him. It's amazing how angry you can be with a 3-goal lead for the entire game.
Sounds like Pat Burns.
Yeah.
God. Especially when he was with the Leafs. All right, the noon game, the Rock 11, Ghost Rider 3. 2 teams that used to be good. Oh, ouch. Ouch, I could feel the burn from here. Met up at noon, and it wasn't even a contest. The Rock had a full lineup while Ghost Rider was missing 4 or 5 key players. Goalie Justin Burnett stole the game for the Rock, truth be told. Anytime they only give up 3, that's a pretty good game.
Justin played fantastic. I know 11-3 is kind of lopsided, but he made key saves at key times that could have cut the lead to 1 or 2 at some point, and he was just money for us. I played for the Rock in that game, and every time I turned around, he was just making these kick saves, glove saves. No matter what it was, Justin was on fire doing what he was doing. So, yeah, pretty impressed with Justin. Solid game there. And Ghost Rider, boy, I tell you, we talk about this every week. They're a house of fire to start the season. Everyone's hugging each other after the game. They have sleepovers. They rent movies, and now they can't win a game, and they're not showing up. And there's a lot of dissension on that team. And I don't know who to blame. Do we blame the captain, Tommy Kervels, or is this I don't know who to blame. So we'll have to figure out who to blame come next week.
That sounds like the Tampa Bay Lightning season. And there you go. I got an NHL pun in after all 6 games. Now, stats and standings as we head into the last week of the season.
Yeah, let me see if I can share my screen here. All right. Does that look good? Okay, yeah. So here we go. So it's after 13 weeks, there's 1 more game left. So Rumblefish and Arizona, they had the big game there that Arizona won, but still Rumblefish, all they need is a point or an Arizona loss this week, and they will clinch the top seed. The Rock, with their win, squeezes them up towards the top again. Arsenal is on the rise here in 4th place. Ghost Rider on the way down. You can see Ghost Rider lost 2, and over here it's 4 in a row for Arsenal. They are on fire. And then as you can see, the rest of the pack playing out. Nobody with any significant winning or losing streak except Arsenal right now. So they were 4-5. They're now 8-5. So they're on the uprise right now.
Well, Snake Eyes has won 2 straight. They've doubled their win total since you went to the bottom to the seeded play.
Yeah. Well, they were 2-9. Now they're 4-9. But I mean, we're talking significant win streak. Well, I guess for them, 2 would be.
Yeah, half their wins of the season I would call significant. Score stats.
Oh, let me see. I just clicked away from that. Let me go back. Yeah, we'll check out our leaders real quick. So let me go back here and share that screen one more time.
Oz had a couple sheety goals, which means it bad, just bad. There we go.
Yeah, so let's take a look at our standings here, stats rather. So Tony Laverty now, look at that. The 4-game win streak has him and his partner, line mate Greg Wood, up in this 1 and 2 seed slots here for the leaders on Saturday. Holy smoke, they have just stormed past the Vincent and Scribner. CJ Cacciatore here for Gone in 60s having a phenomenal season. CJ's doing really well. Nick Bertocci back here, as we talked about, the slumping one way back here. He's only 1 more point better than Kuz, which is, 1 more win better than the Detroit Lions, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, Bertocci's slipping down. Tony's having a great year. He'll be a #1 pick next year. So, congrats to Tony on that. Let me take a look at
I see someone has 14 assists. We won't mention that.
14 is jeepers. Yeah, I've subbed in a handful of games. I've done okay this Saturday season.
Apparently you have.
Yay me.
Hey, what about Hunter Graves having Hunter, Jeremy Gallagher, and Mike Caggiano and Mike Conley, 4 shorthanders all year?
Yeah, so everyone, we got 4 shorthanded goals this year, 1 by Hunter, 1 by Gallagher, Caggiano, and Conley. Yeah, so we got some shorthanded goals happening here as well. Game-winning goals. Hunter's right up there. Hunter's playing really well. He kind of flies under the radar, this guy, but he's done a terrific job. Let's just scroll down to our goalies real quick. And so we have DePrato, first place Rumblefish. He's doing really well with a 4.38. And Justin Burnett here, him and Jeremy Russell, they've split the duties on the Rock, but they're both doing really well with around a 5-goal average. Scott Evans of Ghost Rider, despite their slumping, he's still a little bit over 5. Mark 40, the rookie, the 50-something-year-old rookie, 5.52, having a great season. Yep. And then the rest of them here going down on the list. So
DePrato's 1 game away from a Triple Crown.
He could be, and one game away from a playoff downgrade too.
All right, so the playoffs started on Tuesday. It might have ended for the Leafs, but they started in the EMRHL for the Tuesday League. And let's start with, now these were all series that the higher seed got to pick their opponents, right?
Right. So first game, it was let's start with the first place team, which was Tango and Cash. So they chose to play the last place team, which is Lords of Flatbush. Second place Stop and Shop, they got a little crazy, and they picked the third place team to play in the first round.
Right.
They had a hunch. They rolled the dice. They said, we want to knock these guys out early. And so that was our first game of the night.
All right, so we'll start with that. Normally, when you have a 2 versus 3 matchup in the first round or whatever, it's usually a close game. This actually ended up being the biggest blowout of the night. The second place team chose to stop where my mom will shoot, chose over the top, and in front of a packed house, it wasn't much of a game because the Leafs didn't show up. Or over the top. Mullen put up over the top up 1-0 on a late first period goal, but that was it. All the offense they would generate. Stop scored the next 5, including the jacket grabber by Alex Romano with 3.5 to play. A good time was had Bayall.
Yeah, it was Joey Mullen scored late in that first with a drive, a long way out. He hit the post and went in. It was a nice shot, but that was about it. They really never tested Sop the rest of the way. They just couldn't get anything going. It was just, butts and elbows, that we say. They just couldn't get anything in gear. Stop and Shop tied it. Nice goal by Marino. Then they got a go-ahead goal by Dennis, and then they got 3 in the third. And like you say, Romano there happened to be in the slot, slid up, took a rebound, and fired it in to make it 5-1, and that was that. And yeah, it just it happens. It was actually a pretty close game. It was 2-1 forever. It really was. So
that's a low-scoring, tight defensive game until the very end.
It really was. Again, it was 2-1 going into the third, and then they got the 3 goals there to put it away. But this was not. I wouldn't consider it a blowout by any means. Just solid defensive play. They weren't letting any breakaways in, and over the top, just never got it going. Not even Eddie Kane. Eddie Kane didn't get it going either.
All right. Tango and Cash, who've got to pick whoever they wanted as the number one seed, survived Lords of the Flatbush 9-8. This game reminded us of Game 6 of the Cup Finals between the Bruins and the Blackhawks. The Lords were up 8-7 over the first place Tango team with 2:22 to play. But a silly hooking call led to a power play goal with a minute 29 left. Then, just 19 seconds later, Meade scored the game winner. And just like that, the first place team avoids a bad upset.
Yeah,
ROLAIDS. Kind of a fitting end to the last place Lords season.
yeah, this was pretty much that playoff game. Whereas Lords of Flatbush, the underdog, a seed, cruising. They were leading most of the way, but Tango kept coming back. But it just seemed like the Lords were going to pull this out. They were really playing well for a last place team, and all of a sudden they got a stupid hooking call that didn't need to happen. It was an obvious hook, and bam, they scored immediately on a power play to tie it. And then like everybody stood still, and the Meads went down, went into the slot, shot and scored, and then there was still minute 10 to play. And I don't even think Lords got a shot. I think they were just stunned, like the Bruins were in that game. They just were stunned that they got 2 goals in 19 seconds, and they lost.
What may have been the game of the night produced one of the big upsets of the postseason. The seventh place Expendables took the most advantage of the Bruins game as only 5 skaters showed up for Rocky, giving the bottom team a chance. Surprisingly, Rocky hung tough, but eventually the 5 skaters tired, and in overtime, a selfish Chris Mahoney snapped home the game winner. Justin Gueman played great as the Expendables advanced 6-5.
Yeah, only 5 Rocky skaters shows up. This was the worst attendance of the night, I'm pretty sure, as far as it goes. And the Expendables had, I don't know if they had 7 or 8. They had most of their guys there for sure. And there was a really close game. You know, they hung with them the whole bit. Rocky played well with the 5 guys. It's only 1 guy on the bench subbing in. But you could see in overtime when they went to 3-on-3 in overtime that Rocky was tired. And there was a couple of guys that Mahoney skated around that he's not going to skate around if these guys aren't tired. And he just moved in and snapped it by AK, point blank range. Nothing AK could do. But you can see that, you don't bring 5 guys to a playoff game, and that's why. So they took advantage of it. Rocky, I believe they were the 4th place team. And Expendables move on to the second round. So we'll see who beats them next week.
If I bring 5 guys to a game, I'm there to eat it, not play with it. And if I did that, I would be too full to play. So 5 guys can stay at home. Anyway, the last game of the night saw Cliffhanger beat Rambo 10-7. Despite early reports, Cliffhanger was only missing 1 skater, and that team chemistry was the key with a win over a depleted Rambo team full of subs. A 5-goal third period was the difference as Bova and Lucas combined for 4 of them to send the Cliffhanger to round 2.
Yeah, this is the game everybody was panicking about, and Cliffhanger had 7 out of the 8 skaters and their original goalie. Rambo, not so well. They had 4 guys out and picked up a couple of subs, and it was pretty close. It was fairly close to the end, and the team that with all original guys wanted it more than the subs, which happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Bova and Lucas, they had a really good, strong offensive game. Hagen played well in net. Rambo didn't play bad, but just they were missing their top 2 guys, which were at the top of the Tuesday leaderboards. So when you're missing the top 2 scorers in the league for a playoff game, you lose 10-7.
And so there you have it. So talking about the 4 teams that advance and what will happen next Tuesday.
So we got the Expendables, 7th place team. They advance, so they'll play Tango and Cash to kick things off at 7. We start at 7 next week, not 6:30, because we have 1 less game. And then it will be Cliffhanger, and they will take on. Games? What's up?
You have 2 less games?
No, we play the championship game right after.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll get Tango and Cash and the Expendables at 7, and then we got Stomp and Shop taking on Cliffhanger at 8, and then the winners will play like 5 or 10 after 9 for the championship game is how we do it.
So how do guys feel having to play a second game on it?
It's just, it's what we do. We've done it for years, and you'd like to think that the team playing back-to-back games is at a disadvantage, but that's not always been the case.
Actually, I think they'd be the fresher ones because they've just come off and played.
Yeah, sometimes it depends. I mean, sometimes when it gets hot, maybe that's they get tired more. But this time of year, it's not bad. So sometimes the team that's been hanging around for an hour, they get a little stiff, and it takes a while to get going. But we haven't really noticed a significant pattern either way over the last 20 years. So this is how we do it. This is how a lot of leagues do it. Two teams play, then you give them a 5 or 10 minute break, and then you start up and you play the finals.
So semis and finals next Tuesday. Are you going to be able to record any of this lovely action, or?
Probably not. I'm probably going to be reffing most of the time. If I'm not, then I can do creative things. But last night we had 3 referees out of 7 that did not make their game. Makes it difficult to do anything fun when that happens. And I tell the guys, it's like I'll ref, not a problem, but you don't get any of the fun stuff. So if you help me do this, we can do more things, is what I tell them. But it happens. Work happens, and everyone had an excuse, and so I'm on the court refereeing and scorekeeping, and no fun things happen when that happens.
Right. So last Saturday of the season coming up, what should we look forward to for the last day of that season?
Well, we still got a couple things up for grab. If I just go back to the Saturday standings real quick, there's still an outside chance Raising Arizona could catch Rumblefish for first. Many teams can move up or down. The Rock, Arsenal, they can move up or down. Ghost Rider, National Treasure, Face Off, and Ridgemont High all tied with 13 points. So the key is you want to get into the top 4. And that has actually been decided as I'm looking at the standings here. So Rumblefish, Arizona, The Rock, and Arsenal, those will get the first round bye because nobody else can catch the bottom seed right now with 1 game left. So the bottom 8 will play out in the first round the following Saturday. So yeah, those 4 teams will get a bye. Rumblefish, Raising Arizona, The Rock, and Arsenal all get a bye for that first round. The bottom 8 play out, and there's still a lot of movement going around on those bottom matchups.
Well, there you go. And remember, get your payments in if you haven't done that. The season's almost over. How much of a break is there between the finals next Tuesday and then the start of the summer?
We're going to pick teams probably that weekend and start right up on Tuesday because Tuesdays we need to roll over quickly. Saturdays we sometimes will have a scrimmage game or a set of scrimmage games on a Saturday to check out the new players because we have a higher turnover on Saturday than on Tuesday. But even that, sometimes we don't do that. So
if you're interested in playing in the summer Tuesday season, how should they get a hold of you?
Yeah, go to emrhl.com right away. Click on the join us link or the sign up. Send me an information email or fill out the form. I'll try to get back to you. Tuesdays, I'm pretty sure are going to be full. We have a lot of guys that are going to play on Tuesday, so I don't think I'll have anything on Tuesday. Saturday mornings, new season. We usually do have openings,
especially in the summer.
Yeah, especially in the summer. Although we've been full in the summer sometimes too, and there was a lot of guys contacting me recently. They're going to be in town for the summer, so we might be full in the summer. But I'm pretty sure we'll have Saturday openings anyway.
All right, so there you have it. We've done another week of This Week on the E, and so when we're with you, April 30th. Wow. We'll be able to talk a lot about the new Tuesday champion and set the playoffs for you on Saturday. And so until then, for the Laundry King of Saugus, Massachusetts, Dave Gardner, the Commissioner Chief Bottle Washer, and John Tavares' Kleenex holder, I'm Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you next week on This Week on the E.